Happy Saturday, it's Angie. Today I'm going to give you some amazing advice from some of our fellow survivors. Some of it was received in my comments, and some of it came through private message on Facebook because the person wasn't able to talk about it publicly yet. But it's great advice if you're going through a divorce or any sort of a court case with a narcissist. All right, so let's get started. My name is Angie Atkinson, and this channel is all about teaching you what I know to be true. You really can create the life you want. So you already know if you're going through a divorce with a narcissist or any sort of a court case, it sucks, right? And every time you turn around, they're trying to do something to mess it up or make your life harder. Well, that's just kind of how it is to have a narcissist in your life as well. But there are some specific cases, specific tips that you can use, in addition to the ones I mentioned yesterday in my video, okay? I'm going to share them with you right now. We're going to start with one from Veritas Liberabit. I don't know if I said that right. One of my regulars who I absolutely love to hear from always has great things to say. All right. And Veritas comments, I have SMS messages and emails from wife from years ago that would not paint her in a good light. What is important is if you are saving these things to make sure that you keep backups in a secure offsite location that the narcissist does not know about or cannot gain access to or destroy. The other thing is to journal each day. I said both of those things. Journal like it's a diary each day. Document your stuff. That is something that this person has been doing. He says today was home. He was home, and his wife did not talk to me for the whole day while she watched YouTube, went to the gym, etc. The metadata around emails and SMS. This is important. Listen, you need to make sure that you don't just copy paste the message into a document or something. You need to make sure to keep the original message because the metadata around the message contains information that can be used to verify that the message was not altered and that it was when it was produced and when it was picked up. And some even allow for tracing back to the origin, as in the narcissist phone or computer, adding further weight to your case. So I found that an incredibly important point. So make sure you keep the whole thing, keep the text messages. One of my clients went down to Verizon, who was her provider, and asked them for copies of all of her text messages back to a certain date in order to use them against her narcissist in court, and that benefited her a lot, legally speaking. All right. So Veritas goes on to say, don't let them know that you're doing this. Have separate email addresses, accounts, and offsite storage that they cannot get their hands on. Okay. And make sure that one or two trusted friends or family members know about it just in case. I think that's a very smart point. He says this was said to him when his wife asked him to increase his life insurance, which was already over $1 million. This was coming back from his son's sport of rifle shooting. Talk about situational awareness. He said that she then got upset when he said no. She then had a meltdown. When I asked our son is the beneficiary, when I said, is our son the beneficiary? I'm sorry. He said, our son's the beneficiary. She apparently got upset, said he was lying, it was to prove a point. I don't know. He said he was lying just to prove a point, but she had a big meltdown when he said it's our son who's the beneficiary anyway, not you. And the meltdown, he said, was incredible and went on for days, and it seems she had already dreamed of a house to buy instead of using it to live. He said our son was in the car and witnessed the meltdown. He knew the dad was lying, that Veritas was lying. He was shocked his mother only thought about the money and tried to wrap it up as being altruistic, as about caring for their son and his needs. Here's a point from Ziggy Lou 2022 that I found also interesting and important to listen to, and that is that she says, these people are so wicked. My friend lost her daughter and the narcissist husband. The widow took the insurance money and took off to Mexico with his immediate girlfriend. Watch out. Be careful. Okay, and SD here, she says, I have become an incredibly good detective. Google is my best friend. Google suspected and known usernames of the narcissist, and you can dig up a lot of information, she says, such as which social sites they may be using to be unfaithful. She says, I take screenshots and upload to an offsite location. Smart. One way you can do that is to get Evernote. It's free. You can share screenshots or links or whatever. But in this case, you can also text them to your friend or upload it to Google Docs, whatever you have. Just make sure you keep your password secure. I would always forward everything to a friend that you trust or a family member that you trust, just in case, like Veritas said. Okay. And Ziggy Lou added to this and said, "Yeah, mine used to erase all of his back data on call logs and everything." She says he did not, however, know that his Facebook had a search log. Ha! She said, "I screenshot all of those women he had been trying to connect with while he was on vacation with me." Oh, that's terrible, honey. I'm sorry. She says, "Anyhow, I caught him and flipped out on those." Oh, she said, "Asshole." Hee hee. "I caught him and flipped out on those screenshots across his face. Flipped those screenshots across his face, and he was confounded. How I got all their photos because they were all women he either slept with or dated. I cut him off and kept the big ring for all my troubles and money I had spent on this creep. Good for you." Not only am I proud of you for that, for standing up for yourself that way, but I'm also very excited about the fact that you took the time to leave this message here for your fellow survivors. Because most people wouldn't even know that if someone was deleting everything, they could go and look in the Facebook search logs. Something to consider, um, you know. And thank you to SD and Ziggy Lou for that little bit of information. All right, now Barry McCoy says, that I am, he says, "Hi Angie, I'm grateful for finding your channel. You brighten my day." Thank you, Barry. He says, "I just had a joint financial account frozen that I shared with my narcissist." He says it was a substantial amount of money he swore was gone. And fortunately, I was able to stop his transaction to remove all the money, but now he fears that the guy will do anything to win. He says, "How often do survivors of narcissistic abuse give up nearly all their assets to save themselves? I've already given up so much, but now I'm fearful he will come after me because I took control." And Ziggy Lou adds, to Barry's point that he should leave and move for a while at least because his safety is at risk. Look at the stats. I totally agree. Get a protection order. Don't give up your assets. Get a protection order, and don't be scared. I know that in some, I'm not sure where you live, but I also know that there's increasing awareness around domestic violence and LGBT relationships, if that's what this is. And I absolutely understand that it is very difficult. I'm glad you stopped the transaction. I'm glad you removed the money, or I hope you'll remove the money if you haven't, or at least move it where he can't get to it. And I hope that you are able to become safe. I am worried about your safety in this case. I know it's a difficult spot for you to be in, Barry, but you've got to get a protection order. Go to your local police station, get an emergency order for protection, and then follow through with your police station. With your court system, assuming that you're in the United States. I think Canada has the same deal, and I'm sure there are similar rules in other countries. I'm not sure where you're from, Barry. All right, now this next bit of information comes from one of our SPAN members who asked me not to identify her because she is currently in the middle of a huge battle with a narcissistic ex and a sociopathic new wife. Okay, for the old narcissist. So she obviously doesn't want to take any chance to mess up her her case. But this is important information, and I want to share it with you. Okay, so if you this is something that this person says that is really important, and let me just give you a little backstory, basically, and I'll tell you more as we go. But what it all comes down to is that she's in a situation where she has been obviously abused by a narcissist, is going through a divorce and a custody battle, and she has even been told by her lawyer, she's gotten really good at the investigation stuff, and her lawyer said, "Girl, you should be a PI," that she's that good. So this is important, and I want you to hear this, okay? She says, "If you can send all of your evidence you find to someone you trust so they can print them off and hold them for you, that's really helpful." She says, "Or even two people, just so you have a backup," which I think is also a good idea. She says, "Also check the laws in your state to see if you can record anything." She says, you can find a small, discreet digital recorder for as low as $18 on Amazon. That's true, even cheaper sometimes. She says, you can just download the free call recorder apps on your phone. She says all of this has come in handy with her particular case. She says that she records every call between her ex and the children, And she says, and I have other clients who have done the same thing. I've had clients record calls with me even so they could listen to them later because they already had the stuff set up in place, which I found that fascinating as well. Just let me clarify. She said that this right here is the actual recorder that she uses. It was about $18 on Amazon, and as you can see, it's as small as it fits right on the keychain. You can't even tell it's there. So it's very discreet. She says she'll set it up on the table when she's seeing him and nobody even knows it's there. So in her state, it's legal to record as long as at least one of the parties knows or something like that. She said she uses a digital audio recorder for every single visit. And I'm going to show you a picture of that right there. So you know which one she likes. It's the one circled. Okay. All right. So basically, we went on and we continued our discussion. And she said she thought that it was important that I pass this along so that someone else could be saved by it. And I thought, absolutely. She said, in her case, the USB drive has come in incredibly handy. And she can also use it to save real documents to it or use it as music or a regular USB. Kind of handy dandy, right? Anyway, and like I said, she said that in her state, as long as you make the statement that you are being recorded to that person, it's legal to use it in court. She said you don't have to disclose how you're recording. Every state has its own little rules on this, so make sure you check before you engage in this practice, okay, just to be safe. She says that tell you all, my survivors, to look using all the big search engine sites to look for public information for your narcissist. She said, I found so much on my ex, it's quite hilarious how much they actually hide from you during the relationship. And she said she found prior arrest records. So what she discovered, in addition to the fact that he'd been arrested and everything else, was that some additional information about his current wife, which would indicate that they weren't a fit couple to take care of the children. And I asked her, I said, do you have any particular site recommendations? And she said, it's all public information. You just have to hunt. So I'll tell you, I have found in Missouri where I live, there's a website called casenet.com or something like that. And it actually will show us public court records and arrest records and things like that. So look for that in your area, something like that. I don't know if that's like for everybody or just certain areas, but CaseNet is one that I have used to find court records. She says Google and Bing are the way to go. In general, just Google it, look for public records, public information with the names, etc. She says she now just has to prove that's a private thing I'm not going to share with you. She said, and another thing I thought was really interesting about our conversation was she said, little things are always surprisingly great information for the lawyers. You never know what could be useful. Okay. So now you know. She's even going to pass this information along to her kids when they get older because she wants to save them from being brainwashed any more so than they have been already by this narcissist in her life. And she says, I don't wish this pain on any mother. And I absolutely feel her, and neither would I. Absolutely not. So, yeah. All right. I hope this has been helpful for you. I have had a request to do a video on people who call CPS on children, on parents who aren't bad parents, but they call CPS as a revenge form and stuff like this. If that's something you're interested in, leave me a comment below so that I can make that video for you as well, okay? All right, I'm going to wrap up for now, but just so you guys know, the University B will be launching on Valentine's Day. It's already exciting. It's in beta now for some people. Just a few people who have, my admins and stuff like that are doing the beta testing with me or getting ready to. And February 14th, Tuesday, is opening. So if you haven't yet RSVP'd to the free online launch party, please go to queenbeing.com/RSVP and do so now. It's online, it's free. It's going to go from Tuesday on Valentine's Day all the way through the end of the week, so you don't even have to attend at a specific time. I hope to see you guys there. I will be giving away prizes and goodies all day. All right? All week, really. All right. So I will see you soon for another video. Have a wonderful day. As always, thanks for letting me be a part of your day and a part of your life. Thanks for being a part of mine. It means so much to me. And hey, one more thing. Don't forget, tomorrow is Self-Love Sunday. So I'll see you then. All right? Talk to you soon. Have a great day. It's my mission to teach others what I know to be true. You really can create the life you want. Take care of your body. Take care of your soul. Nurture the real you and introduce him or her to the world. Be comfortable in your own skin and in your place in this world. take your spot, take it now, and the universe will take its cue from you. You feel me? If so, subscribe to my channel. Let's get it done together.